in that partnership with the horse is when we say lead, it's taking the leadership role. So when you're saying I'm leading this horse, you're in the leader position of the horse. I'm not pulling the horse anywhere. The horse is following me. So I don't want to have the energy of I'm going to drag this horse anywhere. When I take a step, having this horse be my partner, he's going to come with me. When I back up with this horse, he's going to come with me. And if you look, there's just 2 slight fingers on the horse because it's a partnership leading. All right, you're not dragging him anywhere. He's following you. If you take an aggressive hold of him, he may think that he has to be defensive about that aggressive hold and sort of brace, and it doesn't work. The other part of leading a horse is you never want to be in front of the horse, okay? You want to have your shoulder in between the middle of the neck and his shoulder. Anywhere above that, I can't see the horse visually. If something was to stimulate the horse and the horse thinks it has to flee, if I'm standing next to it and the horse moves swiftly forward and then will turn and look at what it thought was behind it that it needed to flee from, as Jolene had said, if I have the lead rope in my hand and I'm not wrapping anything around, I've just gathered the slack in whatever way I would like to gather it so I'm comfortable, but it's not wrapped around my hand. If Jasper was to swiftly move forward, I could give him length of the lead rope. He would move by my shoulder, turn, and I still have the lead rope so he can look at what he had to look at. So standing in front of a horse, you're in the way of that fleeing. They could, hit you in the back of the leg or do something unintentionally, but you could be in the way of the movement of the horse. You never ever want to stand in front of the horse. The other side of when you're leading the horse is if I'm stiff in my movements, if I have this really stiff arm out here, stiff doesn't allow you to bend. Stiff doesn't allow you to move. I want to have an extension of my arm so I create this space, but at the same time, my arm is not stiff because say he bumps into my hand, I don't want that to come all the way through my arm into my shoulder. So if my arm is not stiff and he were to bump into my hand, I can relax my arm and I'm not going to do anything to my elbow or my shoulder. As Jolene has stated, say we're going to turn with the horse, right? And I'm going to turn that way. As I move into the personal space of the horse, if you look, the horse gives to my personal space. I don't have his throat here and I'm not just dragging his face across because that's not a partner leading. That's not a leadership role. I want the horse to follow me. If I'm walking away from the horse in the left, see how he just follows me. There isn't a lot of tugging. There isn't a lot of pulling the horse. The horse is giving to my personal space. The partnership we've created with all the lead-up events to the leading of the horse with the aspect of we're in the leadership role of having the lead rope in our hands. The horse gives to us. We don't have to demand the horse do anything. But just to recap, you're never in front of the horse. Stand next to the horse. Don't pull on the horse as you're walking. Ask the horse to follow you. If you look at Jasper right now, everything in his demeanor of standing next to me is that calm and relaxed position. He knows that I'm leading. He doesn't have to take the leadership role. He's not looking around his surroundings to protect himself. He's asking me to protect him. He's got the relaxed eyes, the relaxed ears. This ear is on me, so therefore this eye is on me. He's falling asleep at this point, but he's very comfortable in everything we're doing because I am in the leadership role. Therefore, in the leadership role, I am in the protector role. He's looking for that leadership.
Go.
So as we get into turning, how Gary was saying it's about body language. What you also want to do is think about how your feet are moving. And so with the body language, my upper body is at Jasper's head. He's very relaxed, so we're gonna walk around, and so I'm kind of pushing to his head, so he's moving his head, not his body. Where if I were to be back here, and I have my hand going over a little bit, and now I'm moving my feet, he is moving his feet. And so turning with the horse away from you, we'll do that again, is actually the safer way to turn your horse because you're stepping towards their feet rather than that horse stepping towards your feet. So we'll do a full circle. My arm is extended out. Every now and then there's a little pressure on it when he brings his head forward, but that's a very loose lead line. He's looking and chewing, saying, all right, that was not an abrasive turn. Now as we turn the other way and we walk away from the horse, as much as you want to stay within your horse's eyesight and for that horse to stay in yours, you now want to consider stepping away from your horse a little bit more, because now their feet, which we've mentioned, their feet are 250 pounds each. For Jasper, probably a bit less. But they're stepping towards you now. And as much as your toes are pointing away from them, their heel clipping your heel might still hurt a little bit. So as we turn away, we're stepping away. I am within Jasper's head and shoulder, so the range of a safe body position to be. And there's no pulling to have him stop. When I stop my feet is when he'll stop his. So as we're turning, we don't want to associate this with, like, obviously the horse is following us, but we don't want to say, well, he's still moving his feet, I need to move mine. Because he's going to keep moving his feet if I'm moving mine. So when it's time to stop, even if he takes that next step forward, I'm using my hand to help ask him to stand there rather than continuously moving out of his way, because he might just continue to follow me. Because as a seasoned horse, he knows that that's what he's supposed to do. He has a child or an adult leading him, he is supposed to follow. So as long as you're moving your feet, they will most likely move their feet. And so some differences right now between, even though Jasper isn't tied to the wall, with Jasper and Dashley is Jasper has been here for many years now, so he knows the routine with people, in that he is a string horse, he follows, he knows what we're asking, he knows everything that goes on here at this ranch at this point. Where Dashley is still learning. So as you can see with his body language, like how Gary's saying, he's watching me, trusting me, believing that I'm the leader, and he knows this routine. Where Dashley would still be in the mindset of, I need to lead. Why are we just standing here? There's a lot going on in their head. And so again, we'll do one more turn, turning the horse away from you, having a little bit of a safer foot position. So I'm going to keep my elbow out. I'm going to look forward. It's not a bad thing to look down and glance where your feet are, but we want to keep looking forward, because as a leader, this horse is trusting me to not walk him off a cliff, walk him into a boulder, all these things. So I want to look up. He has lived his whole life with those 4 feet. We have lived our whole life with our 2 feet. We can look forward when we walk. They can watch where they walk, and it's all just a partnership process.
To continue with what Jolene was saying, when you're turning the horse, anytime you're nervous, in general, you try to get things close to you. You know, you want to hug, you want comfort. With those, body language points, what I want to do when I'm turning the horse into me is I don't want him to be into me, because his legs, he has to cross his feet over to turn. All right, we get to just walk and step. But if you look at Jasper, when he walks his 2 front feet, he's going to cross them over and then extend. Cross it over and then extend. Cross it over and then extend. And I want to make sure that my feet are out of his way. I'm leading him. I don't want, as Jolene was saying, I don't want to walk him into a boulder. At this point, my leg is that boulder. I want to give him enough space so he can walk and turn and have his feet comfortable for him. Because again, we're leading the horse. I want to set him up for success. I don't want to set him up for failure. So if I'm going to turn into me, I want to maintain that distance of at least an arm length away. So my hand here doesn't necessarily have to be this close to the horse. If my hand is out here, I still am in control of the horse, but I'm giving him that distance, so when I turn this way away, I can have my feet out of the way and allow him to spin on all 4 of his feet and not have my body in his way of turning. I'm asking him to turn. He has no problem with standing there. I'm leading. I'm asking for the turn. I need to set him up for success so he has the ability to turn. him stepping on my feet if they're this close isn't him stepping on my feet. I'm asking him to step on my feet by having my feet this close to him. Perfect. So one of the things that we need to keep in and aware of what we're doing is to make sure that we are engaging the horse correctly, leading the horse correctly, because again, leadership, leading the horse. That's what we're doing when we say we're going to go lead the horse. We are leadership, leading the horse to where we would like the horse to go. When we put the halter and lead rope on the horse, we are engaging the horse with what we want it to do. If the horse is in the pasture hanging out, there is no us, there is no that, it's just them. When we have this bond, this communication with the horse, this is when we are leading the horse. So we need to set him up for success. If I'm going away from me, my hand is going to be a little closer because I want to get that contact when he knows that I'm moving into his space. So right now, if I move into his space, as Jolene had said, I want to move into his body. This doesn't turn the horse. This turns the horse. His feet turn him. His head doesn't. The head moves independently from the body. When I'm riding, you'll see that. But right now, for this demonstration, I need these two legs to turn, to move, and these two legs to follow to turn the horse. I can have Jasper do his head all day long, and we're not going anywhere. He's just moving his head left and right. If I want him to turn, I need to motivate these legs. So what I'm going to do is create in my energy that we're going to go this way, and by getting into his space, I kind of have to wake him up to get him to go because he's a pretty calm horse at the moment. We're going to ask into his space. You'll see his front feet start to move, and then as I continue into this space, he turns. And I'm not pushing him. We're going at his speed. There was no pressure on the lead line as we were going across. As he started to understand what I was asking, he does that on his own. I'm not pulling, I'm not pushing. I am instructing him, and then he's following my lead, but he understands through the training that he's had, oh, we're going to make a right circle. Oh, we're going to make a left circle. If you notice, there was no pulling, there was no tugging, because I'm leading the horse. I'm not demanding anything of him.